The New York Yankees are second place in the AL East, trailing 5.5 games behind the first place Blue Jays. And while it might make sense to buy at the trade deadline to catch up to the Blue Jays, what if I told you that instead they should, at the very least, not buy? Especially now with Aaron Judge potentially missing a couple games due to potential elbow injuries. Now this might make no sense considering that the Yankees are 4th place and could catch up to the Blue Jays, but by the end of the video I will convince you otherwise. You might think I am insane. The Yankees literally made the World Series last season and have 5 All-Stars. And yeah, on the surface, it may look like the Yankees should probably try to push. But let's take a look at the Yankees. First, we have the one and only Aaron Judge. He's hitting 340, above 340, 37 home runs, 85 RBIs, and an OPS above 1.1. He is absolutely on fire. However, unfortunately for the Yankees, he is going to miss a couple of games due to injuries. He's currently going through elbow tests as I speak. Next, we have Cody Bellinger. Cody Bellinger is another hard-hitting player. 19 home runs, 58 RBIs, 284 at bat, OPS of 845. He is another player who's hitting home runs. A lot of the players are hitting home runs, which is something we are getting into. Next, we have Jazz Chisholm. Jazz Chisholm is another interesting player. 18 home runs, 48 RBIs, just a 251 batting average, and an OPS of 846. Jazz Chisholm and Bellinger were also all-stars like Judge, and I guess it's due to their hitting, their power hitting. Next, finally, we have Trent Grisham. Trent Grisham hits 251 like Chisholm, but 17 home runs, 38 RBIs, and he's also got an OPS plus of 815. So you can see here, a lot of these players hit home runs, but some of them are more hitting for power. I mean, look, the Yankees are first place when it comes to home runs, and they're also 3rd place when it comes to RBIs. And it's even more interesting because they're 2nd place on base percentage. Slugging, they're absolutely at 1st place. And they also have the most walks. When it comes to run score, they're 3rd. When it comes to hits, they're 10th. But when it comes to at-bat percentage, it's 254. They're 7th. Now, obviously, it looks like they're a good hitting team, a very good hitting team. But what if we looked at the stats in the past 30 days? It becomes more interesting. The Yankees are now at the middle of the pack when it comes to batting average. They're now 8th when it comes to the number of hits. And they're also 11th in on-base percentage. Now, they still are doing very well. They're 3rd in OPS. They're 3rd in slugging. They're also 3rd and 1st in home runs and 3rd in RBI. These are all in the past 30 days or past month. Let's look at the past 15 days. Well, they're 19th in RBIs. They're 28th in hits. They're 22nd in runs. They're last place in on-base percentage. They're 22nd in OPS. They're 12th in slugging, although they're 2nd in home runs. They were tied 2nd. Now, you might be saying, well, that is extremely unfair. I mean, it's only been 15 days. Maybe they're on a slump. They've been playing good before. They're above 500. They're talented. Well, what about the pitching? They're 17th in ERA. They're 21st in save opportunities, and they only get 27 saves. They have blown a 3rd of their saves. They're also 12th in whip, 7th most walks given up. They are 15th in runs given up, 15th in home runs given up. Now, to be fair, they're 6th in strikeouts and 29th in hits given up, and overall have given a low opponent batting average. But what about in the last month? How has the pitching fared? Well,
dude Wait till you see the. No, 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 no.
Two of the pitchers are on the injured list, Gill and Yarborough, with Gill being a rookie pitcher. Fried, Rodon holding well, but Warren not so much. And look at the bullpen, they do have a good pitcher in Hill, but the rest are either mid or absolutely trash. Another interesting thing I noted while investigating this Yankees team is their journey in the season. In March and April, they start 18-13. Then they go 17-9, putting themselves at a 35-22 record. Pretty good, right? Then they go 13-14, which would put them at 48-36. Still good, but then from July, they go 8-11. They do have a high run differential, like plus 99, but is where it gets interesting. In this series, they beat Milwaukee by 20, a run differential in 22. They sweep them, but then they lose to the Diamondbacks, but only have a run differential of -1. Then they beat the Blue Jays by 13. Then they lose the series against the Yankees, but with a run differential of 10. That 15-3 win really helped them. Then with the Rays, it's 0. Then they sweep the Royals, have a run differential of plus 12, but in the loss against the Red Sox, well, the sweep, it's a run differential of just -4. In this series against the Orioles, which they win by a run differential of plus 9. When they lose to the Reds, it's a run differential of just 0. They lose to the Mets, how it's just a run differential of -6. Then the sweep against the Mariners, it's plus 11. Against the Cubs, it's just plus 5, despite losing the series. Overall, looking at all these games, they're 19-16, which isn't impressive, but a run differential of plus 71. Look at this sweep. They only have a run differential of -10, and they lost 6 games in a row. And looking at how they stack up against good teams, the Red Sox 1-5, Dodgers 1-2, the Tigers 1-2. Then against the Blue Jays 3-7. Then against the Giants 1-2. The Giants have a winning record. The Reds 1-2. The Reds also have a winning record. Now let's look at teams that are not really impressive. Athletics 4-2, Angels 4-3, Rangers 3-0. They all have played below 500. Royals haven't been doing well, and they've been swept twice. Rockies 2-1, worst team in baseball. Braves doing pretty bad, 2-1. Now, to be fair, Padres are doing well. They're 2-1 against them, and Mariners, they're 5-1 against them. So there are some exceptions. Now, looking at the road ahead, it's not that difficult. They do play some hard teams, but they also play some very easy teams, especially in the stretch with the Nationals and my Chicago White Sox. But then in the beginning of September, they have to play the Astros, Blue Jays, and Tigers, and the Red Sox, which they have been stacking up well against. So we've established that in the past month or so, the Yankees hitting and their team performance overall has gone down. And with their pitching being some of the absolute worst we've seen in the past month. So you think that the Yankees would at least try to get better, maybe go and buy. I mean, they're already doing it. They acquired Ryan McMahon from the Rockies, which we will get to later. Now looking at their farm system, they have 3 top 30 prospects, with 2 in the 90s. Cam Schlitter has already been called up, however, he hasn't made much impact. The number 30 prospect, Lombard Jr., is hitting .207 in AA. Okay, so what else should the Yankees do? Who should they trade? What move should they make? Well, we'll get into that. Now, they again made a trade, I think this morning. They acquired Ryan McMahon, except McMahon is average. I mean, let's take a look at his stats. He's only a one-time All-Star. He only has 16.6 WAR, 1.4 this year. He's hit 16 home runs, 35 RBIs, but yeah, not sure a guy hitting 217 and leading the league in strikeouts is gonna do much. Now, looking at other players they can trade, yeah, Aaron Judge is definitely not being traded. Same with Rodon. He needs to hold the fort while Gil, Yarbo, and Cole gone, and they really need pitching. DJ LeMahieu is a shell of his former self, unfortunately. Same for Goldschmidt, who's like 38. Same for Stanton. There's also Ben Rice, who they could trade, but he's okay. Same with Peraza. Wells potentially could be traded. I'm not sure. Dominguez, he's a bit young, so I don't know. Volpe, yeah, something tells me they're not going to trade Anthony Volpe at all. So that leaves perhaps Chisholm and Trent Grisham, who they could trade. If they traded one of these players along with some of the prospects, then maybe they could get a good arm or a good bat to assist them. But this isn't a video about saying why the Yankees shouldn't make any moves or why they should sell. It's that they shouldn't buy or go all in for a World Series. Looking at other teams, I don't think the Yankees have any chance at making the World Series or getting far in the playoffs. They'll make the playoffs, but compared to other heavyweights in the AL, I'm not seeing it. Of course, I could be proven wrong. This could age like milk, but with Judge out for day to day, it's just seeming that my prediction is aging like fine wine.